Planet Earth. At some point during our short lives, all of us turn inwards and contemplate the nature of the Earth we inhabit. From childhood, we are taught about the Earth, the Sun, the Moon, and space. We learn about our solar system and the planets within it. We learn about the Milky Way and the infinite vastness of space. And we accept these teachings as fact and go about our busy daily lives. One day, I decided I wanted to know more about our world and universe. I wanted to know everything, so I started digging. But straight away, I started to bump into things that made me stop and think, here are a few of those things. Did you know that our spherical Earth is spinning in space at a rate of over 1,000 miles an hour? And that the Earth rotates the Sun at over 67,000 miles per hour, causing us to hurtle through the Milky Way galaxy at over 500,000 miles per hour? And all the while the Milky Way is expanding at the speed of light, zooming at roughly 670 million miles per hour. Mind-dazzling, isn't it? And yet not one single human on Earth can actually feel this motion. We can feel the motion on a roller coaster, a train, we get car sickness, and when we fall our entire body feels a rush, but we feel not one aspect of the Earth's daily journey through the cosmos. That's weird. We've all seen images of Earth from space. In 1972, NASA released the first whole image of Earth, as seen from space. Titled The Blue Marble, one can only feel amazement at its perfect spherical shape and feel the immense enormity of the silent nothingness that surrounds our blue marble. But did you know that the blue marble image and every subsequent image of the Earth released by NASA are composite images, developed by computers out of data and finalized in Photoshop? There are no whole images of the Earth as seen from space. Who would have thought? And then there's gravity. Einstein theorized that gravity exists due to the curvature of space that results from a massive object, and it is the force that keeps us all rooted to the Earth. What goes up must come down, and gravity is so strong that it has the power to keep all our oceans strictly bound to the Earth and the power to curve them over our spinning planet. But it is not strong enough, however, to keep the birds from gliding through the skies, to stop feathers floating in the air and balloons rising. I guess gravity's power is a selective one. As I looked into space and physics more, I had more and more questions. And I knew that somebody much smarter than me out there had the answers. But it wasn't just space that fascinated me. I wanted to learn about the biological and geographical nature of our world. And again, as I dived into learning, I found more weird things that puzzled me. It's basic biology that living cells consist primarily of hydrogen and carbon, and water consists primarily of oxygen and hydrogen. But biologists found the strangest of anomalies in the poles of the Earth that even puzzled Soviet biologists. They found an unnatural amount of water frozen in the ice and an unusually high percentage of carbon dioxide in the world's oceans. There is a lot of water, snow and ice on the Earth. Do you know what this anomaly tells us? It tells us of a great worldwide fire in the Earth's history that, biologists have suggested, carried away 99% of the world's biosphere. What really puzzles me is that figure, 99%. That means that everything alive on Earth is now 20,000 times less in volume, and the biochemical mass of all living things is much less than before this huge fire. Wait, what? What did living things look like before that fire? There's no doubt that we could benefit from extensive scientific study in our poles, but did you know that Antarctica is the only continent on Earth that actually belongs to nobody? In 1959, the nations of the world signed the UN treaty ensuring that no country has claim to Antarctica. The treaty prohibits and regulates all global activity on the continent. Wait, come again? Since when has any nation given up their drive to own and exploit any land on Earth? I kept researching, which just opened up question after question, Some things just didn't make sense to me, and it seemed that many pieces of the larger puzzle were missing or just unanswered. And then I stumbled on something so ridiculous and absurd, I did not know whether to laugh or become angry. Meet the Flat Earth Society, a group of like-minded individuals that hypothesize that the Earth is not actually a globe in a vast and evolving universe, but a flat and stationary plane. At first I thought it was a joke, or some kind of vigilant, religious and creationist denial of scientific advancement. Humanity lived in the dark ages for years, and we finally have objective, progressive science advancing our understanding of this great mystery, and flat earthers think it's okay to promote such anti-scientific theories. Nonetheless, I thought I'd check it out before dismissing it completely. In fact, I just wanted a good laugh and some entertainment to keep boredom at bay. But, you see, despite all my skepticism and desire to debunk and ridicule these flat earthers, what I found was nothing short of astonishing. I had finally found something that challenged my scientific understanding of the world, not just with theory, but also strong scientific evidence. I want to share this with you. Come with me, if you will, down this rabbit hole to discover whether our Earth is in fact a flat and stationary plane. I only ask one thing before we begin. Keep an open mind until the end of this series and question absolutely everything. I promise you this, at the end you will certainly agree that everything we have been told about our planet is not exactly what it seems. You may even find that your entire perspective on the world has changed, like mine has. And I warn you, this rabbit hole is deep and perhaps at times a little troubling, but we'll take it one step at a time. And hey, who knows, maybe we'll even get to meet Alice on her way to Wonderland. Follow me now to part 2 of What on Earth Happened. Here is a beautiful image of Alex Gleason's 1892 New Standard Map of the World that was on projection at Modern College in Blackheath, England. It states at the top of the map that it is scientifically and practically correct. The way Gleason's map significantly differs from standard maps of the world is in its representation of the poles. As you can see by comparison with a conventional world map, the primary difference in Gleason's map is that the North Pole is actually situated in the centre of the Earth, and upon first glance the South Pole, or what is known as Antarctica, appears to be missing. Upon closer inspection, however, you realise that Antarctica is indeed present and makes up the majority of landmass on the map. Antarctica in Gleason's map is an encompassing ice ring that covers the entire outer reaches of Earth. Gleason's map has become somewhat of a canonical historical document for flat earthers. Many often reposting the image on the internet and heralding it as solid proof that refutes the heliocentric model of the Earth. Or in other words, proving that the Earth is not a spinning globe in space, but a circular, flat and stationary plane. This was not enough proof for me, and while I gravitated towards the idea of a giant encompassing ice wall as a neat concept, I knew that we had a vast amount of evidence proving the existence of space, spherical planets, and entire sciences dedicated to solving the mathematical conundrums of physics. I mean, we landed on the moon for God's sake. Surely, if the Earth was flat and stationary, then somebody would have realised by now. These brave souls did the unthinkable. They flew to the moon, they landed, took their first cautionary steps and planted the American flag. NASA sent multiple crews to the moon on subsequent Apollo missions. They even managed to film Apollo 17 leaving the moon.
Stage, push. Mission arm is destined. Okay, I'm going to get to pro. 99, proceeded, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector grid.
But wait, hold on.
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
If this is footage of the crew leaving the moon and making the journey back to Earth, then who did they leave behind to film their craft take off? And wait, don't you think those colourful emissions on takeoff look kind of fake? I haven't seen any subsequent rockets produce these sort of dazzling colours, and I suppose they did admit that they had lost all their data from the mission. But maybe that was just coincidence. I started looking into NASA a bit more closely, and what I found was shocking. I can say with certainty that NASA is indeed lying to the world, and has been lying ever since its founding in 1958. But don't take my word for it. Sometimes you can't tell people the truth, you have to show them. So let me show you. Buckle up and sit tight, because Houston, we have a big problem.
There's a big problem with the blue marble, and I'm going to zoom in here and show you what the problem is. These are all composite images where they are really not very good at Photoshop because they're using the Photoshop clone tool to replicate clouds. This cloud is a copy of this cloud. See the formations? They're identical. Identical formations. These right here, side by side, side by side. See this kind of W-looking shape right here, replicated right here. This cloud is exactly the same as that cloud. You know, same clouds right there, and same thing on the other side of the world. They got the same thing going on. They got careless. Here, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same formations replicated right there. These two replicated, same exact formations right here. This right here is clone of that right there. I mean, really? So you're telling me that we could take pictures of Jupiter and Saturn, huge, massive planets, and now we're out going to Pluto, but we don't have one legitimate picture of the Earth from space that's not a composite? Click on this picture right here. Supposedly the same mission, same guys that took the picture of the most famous picture of our Earth. I'm going to do save image as, and let's see, Apollo Moon. Let's call it Apollo Moon 17. And I'm going to open that in Photoshop. And if those of you who think this technical difficulty was planned and think I'm scamming you, go do it for yourself. Because you're going to find the exact same thing. I got nothing to hide here. This is live on the air, okay? I'm going to zoom in on the Earth in Photoshop. You see the Earth? Go to Image, Adjust, Levels, and I'm going to bring the levels over here. And I'm going to bring the levels up. Uh-oh. What is that? Why is there a square box around the Earth allegedly taken from the scientists on the moon in Apollo 17? And people wonder why I don't trust NASA. That's why I don't trust NASA.
Just another example of NASA faking space. Take a look here at this supposed image of Jupiter. Nothing more than CGI fakery. The supposed auroras towards the north. Let's take a look here again at NASA's official website where it states Hubble captures vivid auroras in Jupiter's atmosphere. Here's the problem. The date of June 30th, 2016. Now take a look at this. Another so-called official image of Jupiter. This one's from back in 2014. You see the problem here? Now let's take a closer look at the supposed two images provided from NASA of Jupiter. Here's the problem again. 2016, 2014. What's the difference here? Well, the difference is they added the supposed auroras on the north, and this is nothing but a Christmas tree. Give me a break. Take a look here. I mean, all the clouds are in the same exact position. Just the 2016 image is a bit, I would say, darker. It's a bit lighter in 2014. Here's a side-by-side. People can't see what's taking place here with NASA. Nothing more than fakery. I mean, give me a break. This is a complete insult. You have a brain in your head.
And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
official NASA research into the dynamics of an aircraft that would function over a flat and non-rotating Earth. A flat and non-rotating Earth.
A flat and non-rotating Earth.
What? I know NASA has a tremendous multi-billion-dollar budget, but why would the organization waste funding research for an aircraft that functions over a flat and stationary Earth? I thought we lived on a spinning globe in space. Is this not like Toyota designing a new car that drives through lava? It would never be used and would be a tremendous waste of money. This is all fun and games until you really start to ponder NASA's lies. Why would the biggest space organization, whose vision statement on their website claims that it is their goal to discover and expand knowledge for the benefit of humanity, lie? And where exactly does their multi-billion-dollar annual budget go? In the last 5 years, NASA's total annual budget between 2016 and 2020 totals over a whopping $100 billion. Why would they commit such fraudulent actions if they want to benefit humanity with their understanding and exploration of space? And if we cannot trust the most famous of all space organizations to give us the truth, then is the Earth really what we've been led to believe it is? And then I remembered the 1959 United Nations Treaty, which prohibits and regulates all global activity on the continent of Antarctica and ensures that the continent belongs to no nation. With Gleason's map in mind, I started to wonder whether Antarctica was really what we had been told it was. Was it really a freezing white untouched paradise where, as Sir David Attenborough shows us, penguins play in the snow? Could it really be a huge ice wall encompassing the entire Earth? And then something dawned on me and stopped me in my tracks. How did I not notice? It was staring me in the face the whole time. Gleason's map. Hidden in plain sight in the United Nations logo. Look, the North Pole is at the centre just like Gleason's map. And why is Antarctica missing? Or is it? Upon closer inspection I realised that the logo was framed in a circular laurel. I know from ancient Greek mythology that the laurel leaf came to symbolise Apollo. Apollo again. Just like the moon missions. In ancient Rome the laurel was not permitted for profane uses, and lighting it at the fires of the altar was strictly forbidden. And I knew from the treaty that the UN had strictly forbidden Antarctica from being explored and exploited. Was there a message in this? I started digging, and then I realised that not only did the United Nations have this logo, but also the International Maritime Organization, the International Civil Aviation Organization, and the World Health Organization. The Maritime Organization polices the seas, and the Aviation Organization polices the skies. The World Health Organization controls all health and disease communications and guidance for the world, much like it has during the COVID-19 pandemic. Did the UN's military really police Antarctica with the maritime and aviation, or is it just an arbitrary treaty honouring the last unspoiled place on Earth?
He's just a Navy destroyer. He will yield. He'd be thinking, that cheeky better not cross my bow. Stop, Josh. They take it seriously.
What did they say?
You got to yield. You can't just fucking. They think you're going to charge them.
We don't know for sure. They did say something. No, they did. They come back last call. Yeah, fucking talk to them.
Actually going around. He's turning. Stop. He's turning. He is actually turning.
He said about the ship yesterday.
No, he is turning. Fucking hell, what have we done now? It's turning, Josh. Just sit still.
He's slowed down, has he?
Yeah, he's really slowed down. No time we were in trouble.
What for?
It's coming to us.
He's coming to us.
He's got the shits because...
This is Warship Hobart, Channel 16, over.
16.
Yeah. Exclusion area, please record your intention.
Oh, who the fuck's that?
We're heading to the shelf to go...
So we're out fishing, heading out fishing. Oh, we're just heading out fishing. I think he's out, boys.
Set up a demo today with this Cessna and the Air National Guard. I'm going to be inside of this Cessna, and we're going to be going rogue. We're going to fly into that no-fly zone, and we're going to see how the Air National Guard does it. They scramble the fighter jets to come right.
Take off. We're off.
Flying for miles and miles until...
Okay, we've just entered the no-fly zone now.
Our pilots aren't talking to air traffic control, ignoring their calls to reach them. That triggers an alarm at the Air National Guard base. These fighter pilots scrambling to their jets. They're on alert and ready to take action 24 hours a day. Today, racing to their F-16s, suiting up, climbing on board, and rushing to the runway. Taking off to intercept our rogue Cessna. Reaching the target in just minutes. This is the view from the F-16. That's my Cessna right there.
Intimidating as you would think it would be. Look at that fighter jet. He's right off our wing.
Another F-16 swooping in on the right, calling us on aviation frequencies.
You have been intercepted. If you hear this transmission, acknowledge the radio call and rock your wings.
He wants us to identify ourselves. We're a rogue aircraft, remember, for this demonstration, so we're not going to respond at all and see what this fighter jet.
You are ordered to turn to the northwest.
The fighter jet giving us one last warning. After all of this, the pilots still won't listen. The plane won't leave the airspace. Will you shoot them down?
If required, we'll execute the rules of engagement per the commander of the North American Aerospace Defense Command. And yes, we would do that.
Shoot the plane down?
If it meets the rules of engagement, yes, we would, to defend the airspace.
Why are they policing the parameters of Antarctica in such a vigilant way? Surely they are just protecting the penguins and seals that we've seen so often in Planet Earth and Frozen Planet documentaries. I don't know, I'm not too sure anymore, because after I stumbled across this.
Where is the curvature? Where?
Talk about a fish story. Man, and they're buying it. Oh, yeah.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
A giant ice wall, stretching for what seems to be hundreds and hundreds of miles,